An emotional moment has captured the attention of viewers everywhere as Ruth Langsford shared a deeply heartfelt goodbye that few expected to feel quite this personal. What unfolded on screen wasn't loud or dramatic, but gentle, sincere, and filled with the kind of emotion that lingers long after the moment ends. Ruth Langsford has always been admired for her calm strength, warmth, and quiet confidence. She's the kind of presence that makes conversations feel comfortable and familiar. But this time, viewers saw something different, something softer, more vulnerable, and incredibly human. As she spoke about Eamonn Holmes, her voice carried a mix of reflection and tenderness. These were not words chosen in a rush. They felt carefully held, shaped by years of shared moments, shared laughter, and shared history that can never truly be replaced. There was a pause in her expression that said more than words ever could. It was the look of someone remembering not just public moments, but private ones too. The early mornings, the inside jokes, the everyday routines that quietly build a life. Ruth didn't speak from a place of bitterness or sadness alone. Instead, her words were wrapped in appreciation. Appreciation for time spent together, for experiences shared, and for a journey that shaped both of them in ways the audience may never fully see. What made this moment so touching was its honesty. Ruth didn't attempt to hide her emotion, nor did she let it overwhelm her. She allowed it to exist naturally, and that authenticity is what resonated so deeply with viewers. There was romance in the air, not the fairy tale kind, but the real kind, the kind rooted in respect, history, and emotional connection, the kind that understands love doesn't disappear just because circumstances change. And just when the moment felt heavy, a familiar sparkle appeared. Ruth smiled softly and added a light, almost playful remark that brought gentle laughter into the room. That touch of humor reminded everyone why she is so beloved. She knows how to balance emotion with grace. Fans watching from home felt like they were witnessing something deeply personal, almost private. It was as if the audience had been invited into a quiet living room moment rather than a broadcast watched by millions. Social media reactions poured in instantly. Viewers described feeling emotional, nostalgic, and unexpectedly comforted. Many said it reminded them of their own goodbyes, those moments when you don't know whether to smile, cry, or do both at once. Ruth's words about Eamonn reflected mutual respect and shared history. She spoke of partnership, teamwork, and the kind of understanding that only comes from years of walking side by side, even when paths begin to change. What stood out most was the absence of drama. This wasn't a story fueled by shock. It was powered by sincerity. That made it far more powerful than any headline ever could. Eamonn's name carried weight in the room, not as a symbol of loss, but as a reminder of something meaningful that once was and always will be part of their story. There was something quietly exciting about the moment too, not because of what was ending, but because of what might come next. Change often brings uncertainty, but it also brings possibility. Ruth's strength shone through her emotion. She didn't portray herself as broken. She appeared thoughtful, grounded, and reflective, someone who understands that life moves forward even when hearts need time to catch up. Viewers praised her dignity, her honesty, and her ability to express emotion without turning it into spectacle. In a world of loud reactions, her calm vulnerability felt refreshing. The romantic side of the moment came from memory, from the way she spoke about shared laughter and familiar routines. It reminded everyone that love isn't always about grand gestures. It's about consistency, presence, and shared understanding. Then came another small moment of humor, subtle, perfectly timed, a reminder that even during emotional goodbyes, laughter can still find its way in. That balance made the moment feel real. Fans watching from home felt like they were witnessing something deeply personal, almost private. It was as if the audience had been invited into a quiet living room moment rather than a broadcast watched by millions. Fans commented that they felt comforted rather than saddened, comforted by the idea that meaningful connections don't simply vanish, they evolve, they change, but they remain part of who we are. Ruth's farewell felt like a thank you rather than a goodbye, a recognition of something valuable rather than a focus on what's no longer the same. That's why the moment resonated across generations. People saw their own experiences reflected back at them, relationships that changed, chapters that closed, and memories that stayed. There was beauty in the restraint of her words. She didn't explain everything. She didn't need to. Sometimes what's left unsaid carries the most meaning. As the moment continued, viewers noticed the small details, the steady breath, the gentle smile, the pause before speaking again. Those details turned a television moment into a shared emotional experience. Ruth Langsford showed that goodbyes don't have to be loud to be powerful. They don't have to be dramatic to be unforgettable. They simply have to be honest. Her farewell reminded everyone that life is made up of chapters, and even when one ends, its influence never truly fades. The excitement came from understanding that this was not an ending filled with fear, but a transition filled with respect, a moment of acknowledgement before moving forward. Fans described replaying the clip just to feel that calm emotion again, that sense of peace mixed with reflection, that gentle reminder to appreciate people while moments are still unfolding. Ruth didn't just speak to Eamonn, she spoke to everyone who has ever loved, shared, and grown alongside someone else. In that moment, television became connection. If this farewell touched your heart, made you reflect, or reminded you of someone important in your own life, you're not alone. Share your thoughts, join the conversation, and let others know how this moment made you feel. And if you enjoy stories that blend emotion, romance, warmth, and real human moments, stay close, because sometimes the most powerful stories come not from endings, but from the honesty in how we say goodbye.